And you've got your own style in which you communicate. And everybody communicates a little bit differently. And I'm sure you've realised this because you'll find that misunderstandings can easily crop up. So what we're going to do is look at your communication style. But this goes way beyond communication. It's also about the way you learn and think. One of the ways in which you consider communication styles is through the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So I'm not going to blind you with science. I want to give you a concrete example that will help to make this a lot clearer. Now I want you to imagine that you've got to go on a journey from A to B. So, are you sitting comfortably? Now go down the road, take the first turning on the left, and when you see the roundabout, take the third turning. Continue until the crossroads, go right, and, well, at this point, if you're auditory, you're probably listening attentively. You might need me to repeat it, but that's because of your auditory memory. That is to do with how much you remember about what you hear. Now, if you are visual, you would have politely waited for me to finish and then asked me for a map. If you're kinesthetic, on the other hand, what you would probably wish me to do is finish really, really quickly, then you'll ask the next passerby, check as you go along the route, probably get lost, but you will get there eventually. Now, this has nothing to do with intelligence. It's just the way that we take in information and the way that we give out information. So, for example, a visual person might want to receive a map. Now, it also means you might find it easier to communicate by drawing something. An auditory person will listen attentively and not find that too much of a challenge. However, when you speak, you'll just be speaking to be understood. Kinesthetic people, on the other hand, need to be doing, and then they need to take people through the steps and the experience in order to explain. Now, this just means that you are this style at the moment for most of the things that you do. It's not a way of categorising you for life, so we've got to be really careful of these character types and communication types. But knowing this is going to give you much more control over how you receive information and how you give it. So you can use your strongest sense to access the others. So for example, I'm learning the guitar, but I'm not very auditory, so you'd think that that was probably a bit of a disadvantage. However, I had a teacher, he would start off by showing me the pictures, the visual images, the notes, and then he would tell me, right, it's a 4/4 beat. Well, to me, honestly, it was a little bit like him speaking Mongolian. I could not relate to that. But when he said, feel the music, tap it out, it suddenly made so much sense because I'm kinesthetic. So if you're auditory and somebody is showing you pictures, you might actually just say, tell me. If somebody is very visual and they're taking you through the steps, you might actually just say, draw it, show me. You can be much more assertive about how you want information to be presented to you. Now, if you're putting an education program together or a presentation together, think about how you're going to use these communication styles. Now, a lot of presentations, for example, are very visual and are very auditory. Where's the kinesthetic element in your presentations? Are you pointing out the advantages to people? Are you telling them this is going to make life easier for you? Because kinesthetic is also the emotions. Are you getting them to experience what you want to convey to your audience? In a training program, is there enough experiential learning? So make sure that you have the mix of the visual, the auditory and the kinesthetic in your communication, if you want to reach out and communicate to as many people and get your message heard and understood with the maximum impact. This will also help you to learn and to make the most of how you receive information in an assertive and confident way.